Hey, Ananda here. So 20 years ago, I was working my favorite TV job ever, hosting Teen Summit on BET. It was October 17th, 1996, when we were paid a very special visit by then First Lady Hillary Clinton. She came to talk to us about this book, It Takes a Village. Now, I'm smart enough to get a signature that may be worth something one day because, cut to 20 years later, she is former Secretary of State and the front runner for the Democratic nomination for the presidency. If she's elected, she will become the very first Madam President our country has ever known. And I want to say that because I'm a woman and she's a woman and I want to see a woman in the presidency, I'm going to vote for her hands down. It's just not true for me. There's some things I'm still on the fence about. And so I decided to pull that tape out, dust it off, and look at who she was then as she sat in front of me on the set and compare it to who she is today as she runs for president. Some things are very similar. Some things are completely different. But it's been 20 years. If nothing had changed, I'd be super worried. I mean, so many things have changed for me. I can't imagine it. Look at how we look when I show you this first cut. It's her answer to the posse's first question to her, and I think you might find it as interesting as I did. Welcome back to Teen Summit. We're honored to have First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton with us. We've come here to speak to the posse now. I know you guys got some questions. It's on you.
Right here, okay.
Oh, it's on you back?
Go ahead,
Okay, it's on me right here. All right, I know you graduated at the top of your class, and I know you have many accolades and awards. Have you ever thought about becoming president or maybe running?
No, I haven't. But I'd encourage you to think so.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of ways you can be of service. You don't have to run for office yourself, and that's kind of what I've tried to do.
Exactly. Okay, Barack Obama. Oh, that wasn't him? Oh, my bad. I know. But 2 presidents later, we did indeed elect our first Black president who is still in office. Yes! Next thing I want to take a look at is what she had to say about health care in our country.
You know, I believe that everybody in America should have access to quality, affordable health care, and particularly children and young people, because I think that if we get young people off to a healthy start, that solves problems later on. And what we've done in the last year or so is a bill was passed that the president wanted passed, and he signed it, so that if you have insurance and you move from a job, you don't lose it. You get to keep it. And if somebody in your family gets sick, and maybe this has happened to somebody here in the audience, if somebody in your family gets sick, they can't yank your insurance away from you. And then last week, the president signed a bill to stop the practice of pushing new mothers and babies out of the hospital within 24 hours. You may know somebody that had that happen to them. So we're making some progress, Amanda.
Some progress.
How are you? I wanted to address the abortion issue and how you felt on that. You were talking about in your book, A Village, It Takes a Village to Raise the Children. If all our children are being killed and dying, how do you feel just on the total issue of abortion, the partial abortion? How do you stand on that?
Well, in the book, I talk about how important I think it is for young people to be very responsible when it comes to sex and not do it, basically, until they are ready to take responsibility for any child they may conceive.
You say until the age of 21.
You know, and I mean, I know that it's hard for a lot of kids to kind of think about the responsibilities that they might end up with in the future, but I really do think that a lot of these behaviors that you're tempted to try and that you kind of think maybe you can do and not have anything bad happen to you, just don't do it. Just don't. And the reason I say that is that when you get to be 21, you're an adult. And if you want to make decisions then, you can live with the consequences. But it's very hard to live with the consequences when you're 14, 16, 18 years old.
Okay, so for me, she was consistent on that. The other thing I think she was consistent on is affordable college for all.
Your platform is for college, you guys want to make the first 2 years of college mandatory with little or no cost. Did your daughter influence that?
Well, not mandatory, but available to everybody, so that she influenced it because, you know, she'll be going to college next year, and we're starting to think a lot about what that means to us as a family. And so the president really believes strongly that every single person should be able to go to college without any financial obstacle.
I am enjoying seeing my little baby face. If you're laughing at me, stop right now. Only I can laugh at me for that. Here's just some general stuff she said that day. Little variety.
I feel very lucky that I was raised in the church and that we've raised our daughter. And, in anybody's life, I mean, I imagine sometimes you all might look on TV and see my husband or me and think, oh boy, do they have a great life. Well, in anybody's life, there are problems and there are challenges, there are disappointments, there are sorrows. And it's very hard to go through that if you don't have some faith beyond yourself. And so that's what we rely on. I think my husband, obviously I think he's wonderful and a great man, and I think that he also is somebody who has shown that he's got what it takes to get up every day and do a hard job, and that he cares about trying to help other people. He's not so concerned about what happens to him as he is about trying to do everything he can, whether it's stopping tobacco companies from advertising to kids or getting guns out of the hands of gangs or doing all the other stuff he's tried to do. And that's what he works on every single day.
So there it is, a little look back at Hillary Clinton in 1996 when she visited us at Teen Summit. I've always liked Hillary Clinton. I still like her. I also like some of what I'm hearing from the Bernie Sanders camp and some of his thinking about where this country needs to go. One thing is for sure, there can be only one. And the other thing that's for sure is you and I are going to decide who it is. So make sure you're registered to vote in time. Make sure you go vote when it is time. And let's get this country moving forward, people. Whoever our nominee is. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
And I really don't care what they say. I know I won't find